Out if there's any wake vortices left out there.
Okay, we are here today, and we're going to practice some high angle of attack engine failures. You really should do these if you like flying out really steep angles, because it'll open your eyes as to what awaits you in the case of a real failure. This time here, I'm going to go up. We are at 480 here. I'm going to go up to 680, which would be 200 foot AGL, and we'll fail the engine, and I'm going to count 1,000 for the oh crap moment that we all have if it really happened. I don't know if you can react that quick or not, but we try to be ready for it, so we'll give it a try and see. I'm going to show you what happens. Alright, we'll take off, we'll climb out at 55, get a really good angle of attack going. There's our altitude. Our engine failed. We pushed the nose over. We have to build up speed. We have 65, which is good. And we make our landing. That was from 200 feet, okay? 200 feet you're not always going to have. We'll taxi back now and do one at a lesser height than that, and I will show you how quickly you run out of elevator. Starting from a 55 mile an hour climb out, this particular plane here with a dead stick, you need about 70, 65 minimum to make a good flare from a steep angle of attack like we have on that type of a takeoff. Okay, this time we'll go to about 100 feet, and I'll try to remember to give it that extra second. It's hard to do when you know it's coming. We're climbing out at 55, which gives us, today is giving me a little over 2,000 foot a minute climb. So we'll try it again. $1,001. All right, now I'm going to push violently over. Try to get some airspeed built up. And that was about, I actually gave it just a little throttle. So 100 feet, that was just about the maximum that I could regain from that steep angle after the engine failure. Any lower than that, like I said, I instinctively didn't quite have enough speed. I did give it a little throttle, and I caught myself and I pulled it back. But you see how steep a dive, I don't know if you can see how steep a dive that is, but you really have to aggressively get that 0G nose over, and I mean make a dive to possibly gain enough airspeed to land. So any lower than 100 feet, probably in this plane, would be a very rough landing. And if you're talking 50 foot, you're just almost going to free fall from that. By the time you lose your momentum going up the steep hill when the engine dies. And at that point, you just don't have enough room to build speed again. That was right at 100 feet AGL that time. And like I said, I aggressively pushed the nose over and really had to put in a dive. And it's really hard to do that because you're wanting to pull back. You have to fight that. You cannot pull back. You lose your airspeed, you're going to hit the ground like a sack of flour. So you need to get out and practice them in your plane. Start out more mild. If you take off and get your 60, 70 mile an hour airspeed in ground effect and then climb out at that speed, you're safe all over. Anytime that engine fails, you still have full control of that plane and you can just make a normal landing. But these steep climb outs that you see at stoll competitions and stuff like that, they're great to watch. I love to watch them myself. But they are very dangerous. So just remember that when you're out playing around, and get out there and fly an airplane and see what it does, because you need to know how it's going to handle in the cases when it don't handle right. Be prepared for when that day maybe don't stay nice. All right, we'll do a normal takeoff. We're going downwind here, but that's okay. We get off the ground, we can stay in ground effect. We're at 70 mile an hour now. We can safely climb out at 70s. We have a full steam anytime the engine quits on us. We land straight ahead until we get high enough to do something different. Those are a lot of fun to practice. Don't start out, at that low. Climb a little higher on your first couple till you get the feel for what it's like, because it is a very aggressive maneuver and you really need to be under control when you do those. They're not hard, they're just a little shocking if you've never done them, but I like to do them quite often to keep myself in failure shape, I call it. If you have a failure, you want to be in shape for it. So we have complete engine failure, we'll see. We are very high, so let's make a little S-turn here. Keep that ball centered. We're going to hold it at 65. We're at 68. That's okay. Keep the ball centered. I'm shooting for the 1,000-foot mark, what I always aim at. There's no need aiming towards the end of the runway. Okay, we're getting in shape here. I don't know if I can slip it down from here, but we're going to try. Keeping the airspeed. I like to slip at least 65. Need a little more slip to get down there to the 1,000-footer. Not much. All right, need to build a little steam. Have to have a little throttle. I'm overfalling. My mistake. I let it get too slow, so. So what I did, I slipped a little too long, because in this plane especially, you really lose altitude fast when you start getting slow. So you need to keep it up there about 70 on the approach, and I got down to 65 and then down to 60, and to drop the nose to land, I was going to be way short. So we'll try that one again. Okay, we have an engine out. So we're going to trim up for about 70 here. That's where I like to glide for an engine out, because this plane loses energy so fast on the flare. I'm high, that's where I like to be. You need to learn to lose altitude because you cannot gain any altitude when your engine dies. So you need to learn how to lose altitude when you need to. We're shooting for the 1,000-foot mark. That's where we always like to land at. No need in trying to land at the end of something. So we're looking pretty good. We'll start putting in some flaps. I think we're plenty high still. Do a little slip, not too much. You lose a lot of energy fast in a little slip in this thing. I'll try to keep my 70 for flare speed. I think I'm only going to come up a little short. All right, we're going to start a round out. Yeah, we're going to be right on the money. There's our 1,000-foot mark. Get out there and practice, 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 practice. You gotta have a reason for flying. That's a good reason to fly. Everybody needs to keep up on their practice. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. I really enjoy doing this kind of practice.